The creation of a high-performance hybrid layer isn't a product of random chance. It is calculated biological engineering designed to capitalize on the best traits of two distinct genetic pools. In modern aviculture, few crosses generate as much technical interest as the strategic union between the black Australorp and the white Leghorn. This specific pairing produces the Austro-White, arguably one of the most efficient and resilient strains ever developed for small to medium-scale egg operations. What makes this F1 offspring remarkable isn't merely the sum of its parents' parts, but the powerful manifestation of heterosis, commonly known as hybrid vigor. This synergistic biological phenomenon occurs when combining diverse alleles from genetically distant purebred lines produces offspring that significantly outperform the average productivity, viability, and hardiness benchmarks of the original parental stocks. In the case of the Austro-White, heterosis acts as a biological multiplier, creating a bird with functional capacity vastly superior to what either parent could achieve alone. If you seek consistent, high-efficiency, and resilient production, this technical analysis will reveal exactly why the Austro-White is the definitive strategic choice for excellence. Stay with us to understand how the interaction of these specific genes creates a laying unit that doesn't just produce, it redefines the limits of resilience within the coop. Let's begin. To fully grasp this hybrid's potential, we must analyze the genetic baseline provided by the parental stock. The sire is the black Australorp. This Australian breed was developed in the early 20th century from black Orpington lines with a clear goal: create the ultimate layer without sacrificing substantial body size. It was targeted for increased laying intensity on a robust skeletal structure capable of supporting prolonged production cycles. Physiologically, the sire contributes superior energy storage capacity to his offspring. This robustness isn't just aesthetic. It translates into denser calcium and protein reserves within the skeletal and muscular systems, which the hybrid draws upon to maintain high eggshell quality over extended periods. Genetically, the Australorp transfers exceptional hardiness, allowing the Austro-White to adapt to significant thermal fluctuations that would severely impact lighter, sensitive breeds. As a carrier of the extended black gene, E, the sire provides a deep pigmentary base and superior dermal health. His structural contribution acts as the essential chassis for the hybrid, ensuring the bird possesses the longevity required to complete laying cycles exceeding 80 weeks with minimal mortality rates. On the other side of this genetic equation, the dam is the white Leghorn. In avian science, the Leghorn represents the pinnacle of functional specialization. Originating from Italy, this breed has been ruthlessly selected for decades to maximize egg yield with the lowest possible maintenance energy requirements. What the dam brings is pure metabolic efficiency. The Leghorn possesses genes regulating very early sexual maturity, meaning the Austro-White's reproductive system will activate with clockwork precision. Unlike heavier breeds, the Leghorn boasts an extremely low feed conversion ratio (FCR) per dozen eggs, a critical economic trait inherited by the hybrid. Regarding behavior, the dam contributes to the near-total elimination of broodiness. This is critical for commercial viability. In a professional operation, interruptions due to a desire to set represent direct economic loss. Leghorn genetics ensure the bird's hormonal axis remains focused almost exclusively on constant ovulation. Furthermore, the dam carries the dominant white gene, I, an epistatic inhibitor whose function is to switch off or block the expression of underlying dark pigments. The interaction of this inhibitor with the sire's black genetics defines the unique aesthetic and plumage health of the Austro-White, allowing for better thermoregulation due to solar reflectance. When these two genetic powerhouses combine, the hatching of the F1 Austro-White marks a new dynamic in the production ecosystem. Hybrid vigor manifests early, producing offspring with higher hatchability rates and superior survival indices during critical first days. Observing this F1 generation development, one notices a perfect synergy between the Leghorn dam's metabolic agility and the Australorp sire's physical endurance. This combination generates superior homeostasis. The bird is better equipped to maintain internal physiological balance against external challenges, like heat stress or opportunistic pathogens, compared to either purebred parent. Physically, the result is a bird that breaks free from the typical skeletal fragility of commercial industrial white layers. The Austro-White displays balanced muscle growth that doesn't interfere with its precocity. While a purebred Leghorn might suffer nutrient depletion without precise dieting during peak output, the Australorp influence confers upon the hybrid a more resilient metabolic memory. This allows the hen to maintain stable body weight even during high production demands. The resulting architecture is strategic. A medium-sized frame consuming significantly less feed than a pure Australorp, yet producing larger eggs with greater consistency than a Leghorn under free-range conditions. From a plumage perspective, this cross is a fascinating testament to incomplete dominance and gene inhibition. Although predominantly white thanks to the dam's dominant gene, the father's black genetics don't retreat completely, manifesting as irregular black flecks, splashes, or ticking throughout the feathers. This isn't just ornamental. In professional circles, these phenotypic markers indicate the cross's authenticity and the genetic balance achieved. The Australorp redefines the aesthetics of efficiency, presenting as a vigorous bird with a bright, alert eye and energetic disposition, ready to be the undisputed protagonist of any excellence-oriented production system. This is the foundation for the second part of our analysis, where we will detail physical aspects, productive metrics, and crucially, the genetic mechanics of sex-linked traits that make this hen the superior hybrid subject par excellence. We now move to the physical characteristics defining this exceptional hybrid. Upon observing an adult, the overall conformation is striking. The Australorp possesses neither the slight, sometimes frail frame of the Leghorn, nor the excessive bulk of the purebred Australorp. Rather, it presents a balanced, medium-sized body with a broad chest and well-developed keelbone. This structure confers superior pulmonary and cardiac capacity, essential for sustaining its accelerated metabolism. The plumage is undoubtedly the most fascinating genetic battleground. As analyzed previously, the extended black gene E from the sire is potent, but clashes directly with the dominant white inhibitor gene I from the Leghorn dam. In this cross, the dominant white acts as an epistatic barrier, though inhibition is not absolute. The phenotypic result is a predominantly white bird interspersed with irregular black flecking or splashing, technically referred to as ticking. These marks follow no symmetrical pattern, appearing instead as random splashes, particularly visible on the neck hackles and tail sickles, giving each bird a unique visual signature. A fundamental technical aspect for the breeder lies in sex-linked shank coloration, an invaluable tool for early sexing. The shanks of the Australorp pullet, female, typically present a dark tone, generally slate gray or bluish. This occurs because the female, being chromosomally ZW, inherits her single Z chromosome from the Australorp sire, carrying the sex-linked recessive gene allowing dermal melanin deposition, which darkens the skin of the shanks. In contrast, the genetics of the cockerels, males, are more revealing. Being ZZ, they obligatorily inherit a Z chromosome from their Leghorn dam, carrying a dominant sex-linked inhibitor gene that effectively blocks dermal melanin, cleaning the shanks of dark pigments. However, a critical nuance often overlooked is that the exact base color of these clean legs in the male depends entirely on the specific maternal line utilized. If the dam hails from an improved American Leghorn line, characterized by yellow skin, the resulting Australorp cockerels will possess predominantly yellow or pale cream shanks. Conversely, if a European or industrial white skin maternal line is used, the cockerel shanks will be a clear white, pinkish, or flesh-toned hue. Regardless of whether the base tone is yellow or white, the defining characteristic for sexing is that the male shanks will always be significantly lighter and clearer than the dark, slate-colored shanks of the females. This clear distinction permits visual autosexing with a high margin of accuracy from hatching, optimizing rearing management. Accompanying the shanks is a relevant facial detail: earlobe color. While the Leghorn possesses white earlobes and the Australorp red, the Australorp manifests a mixed coloration, generally red with a characteristic central white enamel patch. This trait is the unequivocal external signal that we are dealing with a producer of tinted or creamy-shelled eggs, a perfect intermediate between stark white and deep brown. The hybrid's gaze also tells a story of dominance. The iris typically presents in a reddish-orange or bright bay tone, moving away from the dark eye of the pure Australorp, a trait historically associated with high vitality. Regarding productive characteristics, the data is irrefutable. A well-managed Australorp achieves production levels ranging between 310 and 320 eggs annually. Yet, beyond quantity, efficiency impresses. Sexual maturity is radically influenced by Leghorn genetics, allowing pullets to initiate laying between 18 and 20 weeks of age with clockwork precision, significantly earlier than a purebred Australorp. The resulting egg is large to extra-large caliber, averaging roughly 2.1 to 2.3 ounces based on USDA standards, presenting a tinted or pale pink shell. Internal quality is exceptional, boasting high Hoff unit scores and intensely colored yolks due to the bird's superior ability to metabolize dietary pigments. The feed conversion ratio, FCR, is the other pillar of this hybrid. The Australorp consumes significantly less feed than a heavy breed to produce the same egg mass, optimizing cost per unit. Its temperament is a strategic balance, possessing the activity and curiosity of the Leghorn, excellent for free-range systems, while retaining the relative docility of the Australorp for easier confinement management. Furthermore, the brooding instinct has been virtually eliminated by the maternal line, meaning the hen won't pause production to set, maintaining a persistent laying curve year-round. The technical analysis of the Austral White reveals that success in aviculture relies not on luck, but on a profound understanding of leveraging genetics. This hybrid is testament that combining the metabolic persistence of the Leghorn with the structural robustness of the Australorp yields a productive tool surpassing its ancestors' limits. It is an invitation to cease perceiving these birds merely as backyard animals and start viewing them as the result of directed evolution aimed at excellence. I hope this detailed decoding provides the clarity needed to propel your avicultural projects to new heights. To your success, fellow breeder, and until next time.